Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Mind the Moment's Thursday morning gathering, brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare. This is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness instructors to talk with us about what mindfulness means to them, and then discuss as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino, and I'm so happy to be here this morning with Shanti Douglas, who's a mindfulness teacher with Harvard Pilgrim and longtime meditator. Good morning, Shanti.
Good morning. So glad to be here.
I can't quite hear you.
Can you hear me now?
There you go. She's back. Yay. Yeah, it's so nice to have you with us this morning, Shanti.
I'm really glad to be here. Thanks so much for inviting me.
It's interesting, when I start the webinar, I typically just watch the numbers of participants come up, and I decided to open up the little screen that shows the names of people joining. It's so nice to see the regular people joining in and some new names. So really, really happy to have you all here with us this morning. So today, Shanti will start us off with sharing a question for the group to get everybody speaking with one another and chatting. And then she'll lead us in a guided practice and share some thoughts with us. And then after that, we will have time for questions and some discussion. So if you go to the bottom of your screen, open up the chat. And if you go on the drop-down menu, you can click from host and panelists or whatever your screen says to everyone. And that will allow you to see all the comments and questions coming in real time. And you can keep in touch with all the folks that have joined and enjoy our community. So Shanti, what kind of question do you have for us this morning?
Yeah, so, this morning I'm really feeling a sense of gladdening. Recently, I went to a sunflower field at a farm with one of my kids, and a big expansive field of sunflowers, and they were all turning to the sun. And as a sunflower does, when the sun moves, the sunflower moves with it. And I can just imagine, as the sun is rising this morning, the sunflower gently opening to receive the goodness, the nourishment from the sun. And that just awakened in me this sense of gladdening to the day. So I'm curious for people, if you take a moment and reflect on a time or a place, or even with a person that gives you that sense of that heartwarming gladdening, where you feel like you're just opening up to what's right there. And if you could share in the chat box, that would be great. I'd love to hear from people when those experiences may come for you. It may have been this morning, it may have been this past week. Even.
Yeah. When we were talking earlier about this question, sometimes I know the question, sometimes I don't, but this one we knew, and I had some time to think about it. And the first thing that came to my mind was skiing. The last run when I'm skiing, I just decide I'm just going to take everything in. And it's always just a beautiful experience of taking in nature and getting some exercise and enjoying the moment. So that's something for me. So how about you, Shanti?
I think, for me, a lot of it is sitting on the back porch in the morning and watching the sunrise and hearing the birds and just being really present. And for me, I'm waking up still, from my slumber, with or without my coffee. And there's so many possibilities that exist in that moment, right? This is the time, at least for me, to set that intention for the day, or to kind of check in first, how am I doing? And then where is it and how is it that I want to open up to the day?
Yeah, that sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it's really great.
Let's see what folks are saying. So watching the sunset on Lake Erie. Oh, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Saw my coworkers in person for the first time in 1.5 years last week. Oh my gosh. I'm not working in an office right now, but that just sounds wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Just sounds wonderful. Enjoying the flowers in my garden. And paying attention to a single tree in all its majesty. Majesty. Oh, I just love that.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I love trees. I have
I
that
am
personal
totally a tree
connection.
person. I love, love, love trees.
What a beautiful way to say it.
There's so
Thanks
much
for sharing
energy
that.
there. Yeah.
Watching the birds in my bird bath. Oh, that sounds so cute. Especially today, they're going to be spending a lot of time in that bird bath. I love
Maybe,
that.
maybe we'll be spending some time in a bird bath, or maybe we already are, right? Without,
Right.
yeah, we're in that pool. If you're in
Thanks
New
for
England,
all of
you're
your
probably
comments.
experiencing this heat. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. So thanks everybody for that.
Oh, one more. Say, we had a team lunch yesterday, first time in a year and a half, and savored everyone's presence. Oh, that just makes me feel so good reading that. It's but now it's interesting how we're now going to kind of be more grateful for things like that.
Yeah, the things that maybe we just kind of passed by before as we were, chugging through the hallway. Yep, yep, yep. Hello, 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 sort of thing. And now it's like, oh my gosh, hello. Like, how are you? Like, you look amazing. Really being in each other's presence is, it's really uplifting. It's really uplifting.
It
To,
is.
to just be seen, to be in that space, in that place. So we can savor that when we have that opportunity.
Mm. Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely.
Yeah.
And one other comment, extending my walks to include a break on a bench to forest bathe.
Fantastic. Nature is so amazing. It
Yeah.
really is. And it's interesting in the chat box, there's so much nature in there, right? The tree, the lake, the sunset, the forest, the birds, nature. Yeah. So
Definitely.
maybe in our meditation today, you want to imagine that you're a sunflower or you're a part of nature and you're awakening to the sun, right? To a cool sun, not an overwhelming sun that you might be experiencing today if you're in New England, but that sun with that refreshing quality and that openness, even the vastness of like blue sky and white fluffy clouds can bring in a sense of gladdening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So I'm going to invite everybody to just gently readjust your posture, however would feel good for you. If you want to do a few small movements, I find that even just sitting for a half an hour or so, and my neck just gets a little too accustomed to that, right? It gets back into that crunchy. So a little bit of movement can help to create a refreshing quality where the energy can move through easily. If you'd like to, you can close your eyes or just simply create a soft gaze. And I'll invite you to as well relax the belly, to soften the belly, and to engage your attention in the breath, on the breath in this moment. And however it is that you're breathing, invite the breath to come in a little bit slower and deeper than usual. So we can feel the energy, the vastness of the breath. The breath that can come from the open sky, from the open field. The breath that's touched by the sun, by nature, by all things. And as you breathe out, it's an invitation to release, to let go of any subtle or not so subtle holding or attention, whether that's in your body, your heart center, your mind. even in the general field of awareness. And as you continue to breathe in a slower yet expansive way, feel a connection with your heart center. You can even place a hand on your heart if that would feel nourishing for you. And feeling the energy in the heart center. The heart that gives, that spreads love and kindness and care. A heart that is generous. A heart that awakens us to being right here. That offers the reminder of satisfaction and contentment and ease of this present moment. And as we make contact with that energy, and those senses, we can feel perhaps a sudden, subtle gladdening of heart. Subtle joy for this moment. For ourselves in our practice of presence. It gives us the opportunity to be present to our life. And all the things great and small. Noticing the element of gladdening wherever and however it's appearing. Cultivating that as you continue to breathe and bring in that freshness of breath. As an additional invitation, you might turn the corners of your mouth into gentle smile. Noticing the smile. Perhaps being aware of a subtle shift in energy as we smile. A deeper sense of gladdening without effort. And as you continue to breathe with this gentle smile, we can move that smile energy through our whole body, into the neck and shoulders, into the back and the belly, into the legs and the feet. And having that smile, that gladdening smile energy surrounding the wholeness of you. Feeling that smile, that gladdening, being part of every piece of you. And noticing the gladdening, how it feels, what the senses are, what your experience of that is in this moment. And as we become more and more familiar with it, as we cultivate it purposefully with ease, it becomes more familiar, so we can drop into the energy of gladdening more easily through the day. So imagine just for a moment continuing your day with this as the energy from which you move, in which you receive everything that is on your agenda for today. And just to close our practice, giving yourself a moment of deep appreciation for being here and for cultivating this important quality of gladdening. And whenever it feels right, you can gently open your eyes again or refocus your gaze.
Wonderful.
Mm,
Thank you for your guidance. That was wonderful. Thank you.
yes. So happy to share it. I'm receiving it. I'm receiving it along with all of you.
Yeah. Yeah. What a difference it makes to practice together, isn't it? It does make such a difference.
Yeah, it really does. And you feel like you're just part of it, something so much bigger, that change process,
Mm.
cultivating goodness in the world.
I noticed someone in the chat when we were talking about forest bathing asked, isn't there some kind of practice called forest breathing?
Yeah, I can imagine that's, moving into nature and taking her all in. Right? If we notice what nature does, it cleanses everything, right? It comes into state of harmony by detoxification in a very natural and gentle way.
Mm.
It's, I think, at least for me, one of the reasons why, whenever I'm feeling a little agitated or frustrated or what have you, going outside in nature just seems like everything just drops, and it drops without effort, which is so nice. Instead of having to convince ourselves to think a different way or to, distract ourselves, we can still be ourselves, and we can come into that sense of harmony and balance.
I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Definitely agree.
Yeah.
I think another thing that it reminds me is that everything's always changing.
Mm.
Sometimes when we get in those states of agitation or anxiety, we feel like it's just this is the way I'm going to be. But when we go into nature, realize it's like everything is always changing in nature. There's a new flower, there's a new leaf. Trees die, trees come, grow again, and it's always a good reminder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and permanence can be a best friend when things are really tough. All right, this moment, it's going to be different in the next moment. I don't know what that's going to be, but it won't be like this. I often pull that up when things are really, really feeling challenging. Just kind of hold on, not too tightly, try to flow with it, and yeah, take care of yourself in the meantime.
Mm.
Mm.
Someone's commented, love the smiling and then bringing happiness to your whole body and your day.
Yeah, I think that
And
the smiling practice just, and if anybody noticed a shift with a smile, I'd love to hear about that. I know for myself, it feels like my whole world just opens up. Even when my eyes are closed, I just feel so much brighter with that smile. And I don't have to, I don't have to get hard and rough and try to change things. It just sort of happens.
Mhm.
It's part of our nature, right? It's part of our nature. We smile and we automatically change.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
And that changes our environment when we're walking down the street and you see someone that just looks very serious and you wave at them or smile. It's just sometimes you see this radiant smile that comes over someone's face. It can really change everything.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned about Maya Angelou, even the rain eventually stops. She's just got so many amazing quotes. Agree with that. And Brene Brown, who I also love,
Yeah.
power stance. If you need a confidence boost, just stand and act confident, and eventually you will feel it.
Yeah. That reminds me of Amy Cuddy's power pose, right? We stand in that superwoman, Superman pose, and after 2 minutes, your physiology changes, your testosterone increases, and your cortisol decreases. If people haven't seen it, she has an amazing TED Talk out there, but
Mm.
it's a great way to start the day, especially when you're not feeling your best or you want to shift. And again, you don't want to have to move your mind into it. I just find that for me, trying to talk myself out of something or changing my mind, it takes a lot of energy when I'm already feeling depleted, right? And that's when we can get into those loops. So if I can come into the body and connect with the body and have the body change, in an easy way, and that shifts the mind. Powerful, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great recommendation.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, those negative loops, you know, they can be difficult. Um,
Yeah. The
but that's
habits. Yeah.
the gratitude practice is something that's been so successful in that way, is thinking about, and when you're in those negative places, thinking about three things that someone was mentioning to me. You can think about three things that in the last 24 hours that were really positive. And they could be the most, you know, minute things, but it brings you back into that positive
Mhm.
space, and it changes those neural pathways that we know we can change,
Yeah,
because the science has told us we can change those pathways. So
definitely. Yeah, Robert Emens, if anybody is interested in checking more work out on gratitude, Robert Emens has two books out. One is Gratitude Works, and the other one is Thanks. And he's done a lot of research along with Sonia Lubomirski on having a gratitude journal just for a month can boost your baseline of happiness by 30%. What a great return on your investment, right? 30% boost in your baseline. So, like at the end of the day, writing down one or two things that really felt nourishing. And the important part of it is to re-experience the emotion of that. So again, we're connecting into the physiology of that heart-centeredness, of that feeling good. And that helps to change our whole chemistry. And then since we know we have to write about it tomorrow, well, I'm going to go about my day today looking for the good. So that changes our view as well. So great little easy practices that really have a huge shift, can really make huge shifts.
yeah, I love that. That feeling that it's like homework, and someone that's going to make you even a little book that's going to make you accountable. I love that, because it
Yeah.
changes your mindset for the future as well. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Shanti, thank you so much for the discussion, and for your practice, and for guiding us today on a really great subject that we all could use.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thanks so much. I'm so glad to be here. And thanks everyone for being here as well.
Yeah, no, it's been wonderful to be with all of you, and thanks for all your comments and recommendations. And we will be back here on Tuesday at 8:30, and Christine O'Shaughnessy will be with us. So we look forward to seeing you next week, and we hope you're able to bring some of that extra gladness into your day today as you move forward and enjoy your day today. So thanks again for being with us, and we will see you soon.
All right. Stay well. Bye-bye.
Bye.